Hey guys, what's up? So Rudy here. Today I'm going to talk to you about a real key aspect of program periodization, program design or training. So we're going to talk specifically about training frequency and how that affects muscle growth, muscle retention during a diet and even fat loss. So training frequency, just to kind of be clear on what that means if you're not sure, it means the amount of times you train a muscle or train in general. So say per week is kind of normally what's used, and training frequency for most people might be one session per muscle group. So if they follow what a lot of people call a bro split, they will train say chest on Monday, Tuesday maybe quads, Wednesday back, Thursday hamstrings and bum, Friday shoulders and arms, and then they might take the weekend off. So what they've done there, as you can see, they've trained each muscle group once, okay? So basically what I'm going to tell you today and show you today is that kind of old-fashioned bro split that most people still use, training a muscle just once per week, is it's unoptimal to say the least, okay? So it's not going to help you maximize your progression in the gym or your progression out of the gym, so growing muscle, losing fat or retaining muscle when dieting. Or if you are watching this and you're say an elite athlete or a performance athlete or strength athlete, it's probably not going to help you optimize that aspect of performance either. So I'm a big advocate of an increased training frequency for both muscle growth and fat loss. So we'll focus a bit more on muscle growth for the purpose of today. But basically, by increasing training frequency, we're going to stimulate more muscle growth, because ultimately we're going to work that muscle more. So per week, for example, we might train each muscle group twice, or even up to 3, maybe even 4 times, depending what routine you follow. And basically, by training a muscle group more, we're going to create a bigger stimulus, so a stimulus within the body, so maybe muscle protein synthesis, which is the key metabolic process behind muscle growth, basically the formation of new muscle fibers in the muscle or growth of current muscle fibers. Along with muscle protein synthesis, we're going to stimulate that muscle. So your body's kind of a use it or lose it type machine, so if you never train, you're just going to have a minimal amount of muscle, as you probably know. If you train a muscle once per week, it's just going to get a stimulus once, and then for the rest of that week, maybe 5 days after you've recovered for a day, it's just dormant, so it doesn't get any new stimulus to grow. So training your legs doesn't tell your body to grow its chest, so that's another big myth, that training your legs will make your upper body bigger, because there's no research to support that. And even research into the hormonal rises from leg training, it doesn't correlate to any change in the upper torso. So by using more frequency, they've studied this and they've proven that more frequency equals more muscle growth. This can occur for lots of reasons. As I said, firstly, we're just going to get more stimulus into the muscle, but we're going to get more total volume. And volume is another key training variable or aspects of periodization and programming that determines how much muscle you'll grow. So volume just means how many sets or reps, or sets times reps times weight that you perform in a session. So say I did 20 sets on my chest on a Monday, and then I don't train it again until next Monday. That's 20 sets total for that week. Whereas if we take a higher training frequency plan, so say 3 sessions on chest per week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Say we only do 12 sets of chest in each session, we're going to get a total of 36 sets per week on chest. So 20 versus 36, that's almost double the amount of sets that we're going to get on the chest. But more importantly, it's 3 times the stimulation and frequency. So you train the chest Monday, it recovers Tuesday, hit it again Wednesday, recovers Thursday, hit it again Friday, and then he gets 2 days off and we repeat. So kind of if you looked over a year period, you'd be getting 3 times the amount of sessions in on each muscle group or on your chest compared to just a kind of bro split or a 1 training frequency split. So they're 2 of the most important factors. You're going to get much more frequency and volume. Another important factor that people forget is you're going to have better performance. So basically when we start training, as you've experienced, within a session, then maybe the first 5, 6, 7, 8 sets are pretty good, but there's quite a quick decline. So you might have, you might lift your maxes for the first 3 sets, and then after that you can't get as many reps, or you have to drop the weight, and performance just starts to come down. Especially if we've all done it, I've done it, everyone's done it, they spend an hour and a half blasting the biceps, the chest, the legs. People can't last for an hour and a half on optimal performance, and I've seen guys, I've had friends and I've had clients that will do 90 minutes on chest, and they'll get to an end of a workout and they can't do 1 press up. So that highlights the decline in performance. And by breaking it up, you're going to do more total work at a higher capacity, because if you imagine you're going to go in the gym, do your 10, 12 sets on chest, for example, and those sets should be high quality, or at least 6, 8, 10 of those will be high quality. And you're basically going to get rid of the sets near the end of the workout that don't provide much benefit, because you've already capped the level of volume and capped the level of performance. So your performance has plummeted, you're lifting 30% less weight, and in research they've shown that volume is important in muscle growth, but only to an extent. So say you do 8 sets or you do 16 sets on chest, they've found that when you get to around that kind of 8, 10, 12 range, and obviously that depends on genetics, on training years experience, on what you're currently doing, on hormones, lots of factors, but when you reach that maybe 8, 10 or 12 set range, any more volume doesn't add more muscle, okay? It doesn't equal more muscle. So it is a linear relationship at the start. High volume equals high muscle growth, but then we get to this cap where any more volume doesn't do anything. And then we actually get a decline. So when we go too far, which some people will do if they do a 90-minute session on one muscle, the recovery will actually be worse. So they'll go over that peak and they'll come down, and what they'll do is they'll trash their muscle so much thinking, oh, I'm going to grow for the next week, but they won't. They'll just damage the muscle fibers so badly that they don't grow and recover, and they never adapt properly and never kind of get back to a starting level. So hopefully you can see why a high frequency approach might kind of be more beneficial for you, because it's going to allow better performance in the workout. Every set you're going to optimize performance and kind of lift 100%. You're going to get more total training frequency and more total volume, which are all really, really important factors in muscle growth. So if you want to see how I program training frequency and use a high frequency approach to add a lot of lean mass to guys in my 20-week scientific mass plan, or in my 90-day bikini transformation plan, how I use it to help with fat loss and muscle retention, you can follow the links below and read more on that. And you can also head over to the website where I've got a whole blog post and scientific article breaking down the reasons I've discussed today, kind of educating you on why training frequency is more important and how increasing it is going to help optimize your results. Thanks for watching, see you next time.